So another aspect, that's keeping us sick is genetically modified. You see how the devil works? He's got layer upon layer upon layer upon layer upon layer upon layer, right, to keep us sick. It's all done on purpose, by the way. None of this is accident. This is why healthcare is a very profitable field. Okay, it's done on purpose. GMO stands for genetically modified foods. Okay, genetically modified organism. Essentially, it's using DNA technology to take genes from one thing and put it in another thing. So, for example, if you want corn that grows in the winter, for example, you can find something that grows that can survive in like the Arctic or something like that. Isolate the gene that allows it to survive in cold weather, put it inside of a corn, and so now you have corn that can survive in the cold, right? So it's very practical because technically you can now give certain abilities to certain crops, to certain foods, right? But here's the problem that they don't want you to discuss or they don't want you to debate is that there's no long-term study on these things. I don't care who the politician is. I don't care how, because you got to understand, these people are bought and paid for, all of them. I don't care what party, okay? So when they tell you that it's safe and effective, please. It's not the way God did it, but, and I'll share a story with you guys about this, okay? So the reality is genes are added to certain crops for desired outcomes. So you can have something that grows maybe faster, something that has a certain nutritional content. You can have something that's resistant to pests, right? Bugs eating your stuff, or something that's easier to farm, right? Now here's the interesting thing. Regulatory bodies, bodies like the FDA, which we'll talk about a little bit, in the US and Europe, they swear that it's safe, okay? They tell you that, hey, listen, these things are 100% safe to eat. However, I want to share something with you. There are very few studies that have looked at the long-term effects of genetically modified foods. I don't care who it is. I don't care if Fauci was standing here right now telling you to eat this stuff, that it's safe. That man is a liar. Because there's no study that has allowed for anyone to evaluate long-term effects of GMO foods. None. So no man or woman can stand up here and tell you something is safe. And I'll prove it to you. In 2012, there were some Italians, it's called the Seralini study. They looked at the effects of, the little white lab rats, the little white fuzzy lab rats, they test everything on these rats. So they had two groups of lab rats, okay, mouse or whatever, okay? So one group was fed regular, rat feed or whatever they feed them, right? The other group was fed that same rat feed, but from GMO crops, okay? Here's what they found. They found that the group that was fed, the GMO stuff, 60% of them got tumors. Now, I would have put pictures here, but I didn't want anybody to throw up. They were fat tumors. They were huge. 60% of the mice. And so when they published this study, the Seralini study, then the agencies over there in Europe began to harass them. You can't publish this. Oh, you didn't run the study right. Oh, you had they gave these people a hard time. Okay? They made them redo the study. Because again, GMO is a multi-billion-dollar industry. They're not going to let you publish something that's going to scare people away. So they pretty much terrorize these people. And all these scientists, at the FDA, they know this. They keep their mouths shut because they'll lose their jobs. That's how it is. I know we like to think that, these guys know what they're doing and everything like that. Nope. They go to work for a check just like you go to work for a check. And they are not about to risk their jobs for you, okay? Because when they get fired, nobody helps them out. But yeah, so they terrorized these guys from the Seralini study. They made them retract the paper, saying that it was, weak evidence and everything like that. One of the biggest companies behind GMO is called Monsanto. How many of you have heard of Monsanto? Okay, terrible, okay? They deliberately do not publish, so they'll run out and say, oh, look, our GMO, corn can grow at twice the rate as regular corn. But when you ask them, hey, what about the toxicity study? You know, what's the effect on humans? They'll tell you it's good. Yeah, but can we see the study? Oh, we ain't got it. And your politicians will approve it, because if they won't approve it, they'll fund an opponent, and that opponent will approve it. Okay, so that's why I said anybody stands here and tells you that they're a doctor. You know, I don't care if it's Dr. Dre. I really don't care who it is. Okay, they tell you that, oh, you know, by the authority invested in me, this is safe to eat. They are a liar. Okay, so the only way to avoid GMO foods is to really use what are called, they're called PLU codes. You ever go and look at like vegetables, fruits and vegetables, right?